An endowment gift by Lanny and Annette Lobdell has created the Chad Lobdell Memorial Study Abroad Scholarship Fund. Fund proceeds support a yearly scholarship in the International Programs and Studies Unit on campus and are awarded to undergraduate students for study at universities in the United Kingdom.
You know, our situation was, I would say, special because Chad died, and I wanted to do it in his memory.
Chad Lobdell was diagnosed with bone cancer in 1985 and battled the disease for 7 years, including the time he studied at the University of Lancaster in England.
The time he entered U of I, I think both of us thought he probably wouldn't survive, you know, the first year, but he battled and went 4 years there. I think he was 4 hours short of getting his bachelor's degree. He missed some classes because of all the medical treatment.
The Lobdells reflect on the impetus behind their decision to endow the scholarship in their son's name.
So I have a lot of love for the U of I, even though I didn't graduate there or I didn't go there. A lot of that love came from Chad's experience and his relating that experience, the U of I experience, to us.
Everyone who knew him agrees that Chad lived his life to the fullest, including getting engaged and traveling on the continent with friends during the course of his stay in England.
It gives the award winners the opportunity to do the same thing that Chad really enjoyed. And that brings, you know, us satisfaction.
I think it's been very rewarding to be able to be a part of that. It makes me feel good.
UIUC Professor David Goodman and his brothers Norman and Andrew created the Rita and Arnold Goodman Fellowship in 2000. Each year, the endowment provides an award to an outstanding graduate student doing research on women's issues. Professor Goodman reflects on his mother's lifelong concerns and the decision to create a fellowship in his parents' honor.
My mother was very interested in mentoring young women and in problems of mentoring young women, of literacy, infant mortality, all of the problems involved with women in developing countries. And we thought that creating a fellowship that would continue her interest and would do something that to help ameliorate the condition of women in developing countries was an appropriate way to commemorate her life and the life of my father.
Professor Goodman suggests the wide educational value of the fellowship for the university as well as the recipient.
The gift encourages people to think in these kinds of what I think are constructive ways. And so even those people who are not recipients of the gift, who apply, are impacted by the existence of the fellowship. And that, I think, is probably as important as the gift itself. I think that it's, at least in my view, and I think my parents would have liked this, that, you know, we're taking a very, we're casting a very broad net, and we're very, you know, in our own way, being very ambitious about this.
Ordinary people who want, as Professor Goodman puts it, to cast a very wide net may find the perfect fit in a scholarship or fellowship that fosters their goals.
One does not have to be a multi-millionaire financier employed on Wall Street in order to do this. We are not wealthy people. We were just raised to believe that charity is important and that one shares what one has. If we had invested the money and then simply given away annually the interest and the dividends, it would have been a much smaller gift because we gave it through the university and it was eligible for a matching, the provost had a matching plan at the time. Our gift is matched by the university, and it's a much more potent way of giving than it would have been if we had simply done this on our own.
For the Goodmans, a gift now was an investment in the future, a gift they plan to actively nurture in partnership with the university.
We're at the early stages of this, but what we'd like to see is developing a group of Goodman Fellows, a group of alumni, as it were, people who have held the Goodman Fellowship, who are outstanding individuals, who have really done outstanding work and made an outstanding contribution, whose work will then serve to inspire future applicants. A gift to the university continues in perpetuity, and long after the principal would have been exhausted, this will continue to flourish and will continue to support students in this important field. So.
A $1 million bequest plus current gifts have created the Suzanne and David Martin Ray Study Abroad Scholarship Fund. Fund proceeds are supporting scholarships in the International Programs and Studies Unit on the Urbana-Champaign campus. Suzanne Martin Ray received a bachelor's degree in political science from the U of I in 1983. She met her husband David while participating in an overseas study program.
Suzanne came over to the University of Newcastle to do her junior study abroad year, and we met on the second day of the Freshers Week, they call it. I was just started medical school.
Going and living in another culture and experiencing it is the only way to see that in depth. Going 1 or 2 weeks on vacation, you get a taste, you get a flavor, and it's better than nothing, but if you can go and spend a whole year, it's, as they say in Italian, vale la pena, because it's worth the effort.
They will think critically about their own culture, and they will think about the new culture that they're in, and I think naturally they will assess, what are the good things and the bad things.